So, I quietly walked into the principal's office and found an outlet, plugged up my phone, and sat there while my phone was charging. And I started hearing something that I don't know what it is. It sounded like crying, like a girl crying. I thought that was strange because there shouldn't be anyone here. And I checked the time on my phone. It said it was 10 o'clock on the dot. And I decided I'm not gonna check out the crying. I'm gonna let my phone charge until 11:30 or so. Then it'd have a pretty good charge so I could check out the 13th step. So I sat there. Meanwhile, I kept hearing the girl cry. It honestly was scary, sitting in the dark alone in a school in the middle of the night, and there's a girl crying, and you know for a fact that there's no one there. But I sat there and listened to it and watched the clock on my phone. As soon as it hit 11:30, my phone was at 80%. My phone charges pretty fast. So I unplugged it. I turned the flashlight back on and quietly walked out of the principal's office. And I decided I wasn't going to check out the crying. That's how people get killed in horror movies. So I decided I was going to go back to my classroom and see if the desks are moved again. But with the crying now, I was honestly really scared. And I guess for a good reason. So it took me a lot longer to get back to my classroom. And I noticed the closer I got to my classroom, the more I heard it, the girl crying. It was almost like a horror movie. And of course, like any horror movie, once I got to my classroom, it sounded like the crying was beyond the door. And I looked through the glass. I couldn't see anything. I mean, I literally couldn't see anything. It was pitch black. Even trying to shine my light through it, I still couldn't see anything in the room. Almost like the room was enveloped with just pure darkness. I don't know what told me to do this, but I tried for the doorknob. And to my surprise, it started to turn. But as soon as I touched the doorknob, the crying stopped. And that freaked me out. I'm not going to open that door. I feel like whatever's behind that door wants me to open it. So I checked my phone and it said it was 11:54. I decided to go try the 13th step thing because honestly, even though it's rumored that you die immediately. That's less scary than that room. So that's what I did. I walked up the 13 steps and stood on the 13th step. And come 12 o'clock, nothing happened. Of course, I thought it was a superstition. And then I started hearing someone walk down the hallway. So I quickly ran down the steps and looked both ways, but I didn't see anyone. No lights or anything. But it still sounded like someone was walking down the hallway, and it sounded like I was getting closer and closer until it was almost right next to me. And I got chills, cold chills running down my spine and all over my body as whatever it is passed me. And then the footsteps stopped. And then I started to hear it, the crying again. And at this point, I was terrified, but I had to see what's in that classroom. So I slowly walked to my classroom and touched the doorknob. The crying stopped, of course, and slowly opened the door. And then I seen it. All of the desks and chairs were stacked up on each other, all the way to the ceiling. And then I started hearing the crying again. Honestly, at this point, everything was really a blur. I'm pretty sure fight or flight kicked in, and I chose flight. I ran as fast as I could to a fire alarm and pulled it, hoping anyone would come and rescue me from whatever is in this school. And of course, the firefighters came, and I got a really bad scolding for what I did, but I think they took it easy on me, because when they found me, I was just muttering, the crying lady, over and over again. I don't remember exactly what I saw in that room besides the stacked desks and chairs, but honestly, I don't want to remember what I seen. There has to be a reason that I blocked it from my memory.